Hey Explorers, and welcome back to Pip Explores. This week we're discussing how to pack less for our trip.
When you ain't got no money, you got to move.
So before we really dive into this, these tips can be used for backpacking, for going on a weekend camping trip, or just taking a flight to see your relatives for the holidays. These are my top 5 tips for lightening your load when packing. My number 1 tip is to make a list. So often when I'm packing, if I haven't made a list beforehand, I just start throwing everything I might possibly need because I can't remember what I've already packed into a bag, and I end up with way more stuff than I could ever use. So to prevent this, make a list. You're likely to be more organized and realize when you're double packing stuff. My number 2 tip is to know what your plan is. So this basically means know what you're going to be doing so that you pack according to what you're doing. If you're going caving, obviously you need to pack caving clothes, but if you're going skiing, you don't need to pack caving clothes. That's kind of extreme, but knowing the activities you're doing helps you plan out outfits and make that list so that your packing goes more smoothly and you don't end up with a bunch of stuff that you're not going to use. My number 3 tip is repeat, repeat, repeat. Whenever you can, plan on re-wearing things. You do not need to bring 4 different coats and 6 pairs of shoes. One of each is probably plenty unless the shoes or coats are specific to activities. Personally, I have a huge problem with this when it comes to like pullovers. I always want to pack like 12, even if I'm just going for like 3 days. So make sure you kind of keep yourself in check and are willing to repeat those clothes, especially those items that you're probably going to rewear anyway. My number 4 tip is to get a smaller bag. If you have a big old duffel bag or a 60-liter pack for backpacking, you're going to end up filling it and you're going to end up having way more stuff than you need. This also means that if you're flying, you are going to have to pay higher fees because your bag's going to weigh more instead of doing what I like to do and travel with just a carry-on. So because of that, buy a smaller bag. If you give yourself a small bag, you're more likely to actually make sure everything fits inside of that bag. And my last tip is to know your fear. My friend says that the thing we always pack the most of is whatever we're afraid of. So me, I'm always afraid that I'm going to get cold, even in the summer. So I'll put extra long sleeve, extra layers, way too much stuff that I need. So know what your fear is, give yourself 1 extra item for your fear, and then move on. I do not need to take 6 sweaters on any weekend, ever. 2 is plenty. So kind of know your fear, give yourself a little freedom with it, and then move on. So those are my 5 tips to lighten your load for packing. What are your tips or best practices to make sure you don't overpack on all of your trips? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, my brand new website is up and I'm super excited about it, so head on over to pipexplores.com for your free day hiking checklist. Also be sure to check out the store that just went up. There are just a bunch of stickers in there just in time for Christmas. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You're on my YouTube right now, as well as my website. Make sure you check me out on all of those places. We will see you next week. Bye, guys.